Man United 1, sorry, Man United 2, Norwich 1. It felt like we was only going to score 1. The longer the game went on, a proper frustrating game, to be honest with you. I'll hold my hands up. I was in the camp of basically saying, I understand that Solskjaer needs to make changes. And I was anticipating changes. And I still thought, once I saw the team sheet, that was good enough to go and beat Norwich. And in the end, technically it was, but really it wasn't, because we had to make 5 changes to win the game. So actually, no, it wasn't good enough to go and beat Norwich. My theory was proven wrong. That can happen. And you know what? After listening over the fan cams and listening to people's opinions, I think Adam said an interesting point. He said he thought Solskjaer was a little bit arrogant in terms of thinking he could make that many changes. And it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And I think, look, what we can see is that whenever we deviate from our strongest 11, we're a poor side. And I think that is actually the biggest concern. You can look at Ollie's tactics or lack of, and you can look at his philosophy and his way of playing and say that no matter what team plays, you see deficiencies in his coaching style. That's a different argument. But what I see is that if I'm Ollie, I'm knocking on the door, not just tomorrow, because I should have been doing it anyway, and saying, look, past my starting 11, I don't have strength and depth. Yeah, I've got bodies, I've got numbers, but they're not doing anything. Jesse Lingard buzzed around like a fly, just being that annoying fly, but didn't give us any productivity. Mata playing on the right-hand side. Now, look, I don't think Mata is completely finished as a player. I just think he needs to play in the right system with the right players. And if you're going to play Lingard on one side, he's going to keep drifting in from a wide position. You're going to play Mata on the other side, he's going to keep drifting in from a wide position. And you're going to play IGHALO up top. It just doesn't work for the likes of Juan Mata. Then Dalot, I thought he was poor today. I thought he was shocking, really. And you look at these games and they can go one way or the other in terms of when you make this many changes. You can have really hungry players who are chomping at the bit and want to prove to the manager that they should be playing instead of whoever's got their shirt. That's how I see it. Or you could see what we saw, which is proven to the manager just why these players don't play. And I think it's the latter. I think Ollie would look at that and think actually he might have a bigger problem, because you look at the games that we got left and the competitions we're still in, and he can't keep playing our strongest 11 in every single game. But you don't see us getting success if he does that. And I think actually he'll be thinking, it's actually more worrying that I can't rely on these other guys. I think he's looked at that. And if I was Ollie Solskjaer on the team bus on the way back, I'll be thinking, I can't rely on Jesse Lingard. I can't rely on Juan Mata. I can't rely on Dalot. I thought Fred and McTominay weren't great today. I thought they were poor. At no point during the game, until we changed it and brought on the better players, did we look like we had any control over the game. Pogba comes on again and changes the game. A fantastic pass for the goal. I thought Bruno was just tired. Ricky criticised him a lot. And I know a lot of people will say that some of his comments are a bit outlandish. Ricky basically said that Bruno's not world-class yet. And if he simplifies his game, he will be world-class. And he kind of used him and Phil Jones in the same sentence. And I know that will make you think immediately switch off. But if you look at the context, he's saying if he just simplifies his game and stops trying to kill a pass every time, then he'd be even better. And I can understand that criticism. But for me, I feel with Bruno Fernandes, I don't mind affording him losing the ball, because for every 3 or 4 times he loses it, there's going to be 3 or 4 times where he creates a chance. If you look at the game today, he's instrumental in getting that player sent off. He plays a fantastic ball around the corner into IGHALO, who shows great strength, and the player gets sent off. Closer gets sent off. Bruno Fernandes is involved. I think he set up a header for Maguire, which on a different day he would score. Bruno Fernandes was involved. Was he frustrated? Was he tired? Was he trying too hard? Yes. But what he lacked in quality for me, he made up for in effort. He made up for in energy. He made up for in an honest, hard-working performance, which you're going to get from him. So I don't mind having a player like Bruno Fernandes in the final third if it's going to be, combated or equaled out by someone like a Pogba and Matic, who are going to keep the ball going well. Bailly looked a bit shaky going at the beginning stages of the game, but he grew into it. Luke Shaw did okay, but I think Maguire, I think he stood up and was counted for. But you look at the game as well, and it just had that feeling that we weren't going to get that goal. It was right to the death. It looked like it was going to be the Tim Krul show. And I was saying, I even tweeted it on Twitter, and I was like, look, you look at the players we've got on the pitch. We've got Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, Pogba and Bruno. That's 5 quality penalty takers. And still, I wasn't confident in winning a penalty shootout against Tim Krul. So I think there's a massive sigh of relief. We knew we had to get it done in 120 minutes. You would like to have made it 90. And I want to give a big shout out to IGHALO, because the man of the match will rightly so, I suppose, on the balance of play, go to Harry Maguire. He had a great block just before halftime to keep us in the game. Had a header not cleared off the line, but saved by Tim Krul, and then obviously got the winner. So I understand it justifiably going to Harry Maguire, the man of the match award. But IGHALO didn't have a lot to do, but every time he came into having to be involved, he made the right decisions, got his goal at the right time with a proper IGHALO finish, let's face it, and was instrumental in getting closer sent off the pitch. It was closer, wasn't it? Yeah, so, or the Norwich City defender getting sent off. So a big shout out to him. In really, the other players who come off didn't come into the team in the 8 changes, didn't cover themselves in glory, you know what I mean? So look, I think the bigger issue here is that we know when we change our team, we're poor. We did it. I remember against AZ Alkmaar away from home. We didn't even have a shot on target in 90 minutes. And it's been a common theme. Rochdale, we changed the team. Astana, we changed the team. Yes, there was a lot of youngsters, so I get it. But anytime we deviate from the team, apart from against Tranmere, which is a different kettle of fish, and I know we did all right against Derby, but more than likely, we have a poor performance when we change the team. And I just worry that going forward, something's going to have to give. Look, we're in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. If we draw, who's left? I don't even know who's left. Is it Man City and Chelsea, I think, that are left? Or Leicester, I think, are left, actually. I can't remember exactly. But if we draw one of the better teams, if we play that side, we'll lose at Wembley. It's as simple as that. So we'll have to play the strongest 11. And that might be coupled with a midweek game at home against Bournemouth. Bruno was absolutely shattered today. He has to go again against Brighton. I don't want to have to drop him. We need to play Bruno. I know his fitness levels are great. He's got a great engine on him, great set of lungs, but I don't want to have to run him into the ground. Harry Maguire is the type of player who can play every game. I get that. He's not explosive like that. And Luke Shaw. But this reliance, I've been critical, or I say critical, I've been reluctant to sign certain players or go after certain players in the summer window because I'm like, where they're going to play, where they're going to fit. But after seeing that and actually taking it in and saying, well, actually, we haven't got the quality on the bench. We need that depth. We need Van der Beek. We need Jack Grealish. We need a Maddison. As well as we need Bruno, we need Pogba. Yeah, they might not all start, but if we want to create something special and close that gap on Liverpool, which we've just seen them win the league, and you look at how far away we are from City, we need to put ourselves in a position where we can do a City, change 3 players in the midfield and still be equally as good, change the front 3 and still be equally as good. And I think right now, it's taken us so long to get a decent first 11. We're now starting to see the deficiencies in our second 11. Or in our bench, if Pereira would have played, would he have done much better today? I don't think so. Mark thinks that if he would have played on the right instead of Mata, that he would have done a lot better. I'm not so sure. Lingard, it's an ongoing thing. He just looked out of his depth. He got into good positions, but just weren't at the races, got his pocket picked. And you're looking at the likes of Todd Cantwell. Big up Todd, he's come on the channel, but you saw the goal he scored today. Yeah, you could argue that Romero should save that. Maybe a little bit unsighted by Harry Maguire, but it was struck quite true by Todd Cantwell. And yes, if it was De Gea who made that mistake, we probably would be talking about that. But if you're Jesse Lingard, you're looking at someone like Todd Cantwell. That's how Lingard should be playing. He played on the left wing, and you look at the output of what Todd Cantwell done today, not just with the goal, but just how he looked after the ball and was involved. And you look at what Jesse Lingard's output is, it's embarrassing. And you look at Lingard in terms of next season. Lingard's not young anymore. Even if Lingard plays at United next season, he's going to want to get into the European squad for the Euros, right? And he's never going to get in. You've got Mount, you've got Foden, you've got Loftus-Cheek, you've got Maddison, you've got Grealish. How does he get into that? So you've got Dele Alli. So I think Lingard probably won't even get into the England squad regardless, and he's not having any input at Man United. I think the writing's on the wall. I think he will leave. He's changed his agent. The writing's on the wall for him. I think Mata, again, didn't play well. The wrong type of team for him to be in. You look at a right side of Dalot and Mata, it doesn't fill any defenders with any joy. Again, Jamal, come on the channel. And you guys know how he played. Very quick. Is Juan Mata ever going to get past him? No, he's not. So he's always going to drift inside because guess what? Juan Mata's not a winger. We know this. On Dalot, man, I'm concerned. I just think we bought him injured, waited for him to come fit again. He played. Shows a few glimpses of being okay. Defensively, not strong enough, nowhere near the level of Wan-Bissaka, so he's never going to play right back. We've seen him play right wing a few times and looks okay, but there just isn't really that wow factor. And I get it, he's young and you want to maybe give him one more season. I'd probably give him one more season, just so the fact that we don't have to spend again in that era. I'll give him one more season, and if he doesn't show me anything, I would probably move him on, because I just can't see what he's offering. I can't see what he's gonna bring us. Weird that Gomez wasn't in the squad today. Would he have done any worse than Mata or Lingard today? I don't think so. So look, at the end of the day, we got through, which was the main thing. And if you're looking at the positives, we're into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. You know, we've got a chance of winning it. But if you're looking at the negatives, you know, Norwich are down and out. At the end of the day, they saved players in their last Premier League game against Everton for this, in my opinion, and they haven't won it. But they gave us more of a run for our money than they should have, in my opinion. We should have been dispatching of them way more easier than we did. We made it far too difficult. But we won the game, and that's the main thing. Now we go on to Brighton, and that's an even bigger game. We've got to go on this run in the Premier League now, where we're winning 6-7 back-to-back games. We have to. We've got to put a run together, because Chelsea aren't letting up, and neither are Wolves. So we'll see. My man of the match, it is Harry Maguire, rightly so. But I was thinking about IGHALO, because I think he will go under the radar of his performance today. He's almost the perfect alternative. Every time he comes in, he does his job. He plays well, he gets goals, he holds the ball up well, and he's involved. And he was involved in the two key moments today. Us scoring the first goal when we didn't look like scoring at all. So big up to IGHALO for that. And getting the player sent off, which made it easier for us to put the pressure on Norwich. Because let's face it, before their man got sent off, they were in the ascendancy. If you was going to pick a team to win, you probably would have picked Norwich, you know? So they will feel hard done by. But look, at least we've won the game. And I think Ollie's got a big decision to make. Well, an easy decision to make in terms of looking at squad depth going forward. But we've won the game, and my man in the match is Harry Maguire. And I am out of it. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel, The Flex, as well. If you haven't subscribed to that, make sure you do. And I will see you guys at the next game. Peace. I'm gone.